Hello. Hi, Cancer. This is Sage. Welcome to your reading. And I already tossed some coins for you. Where did I put them? Actually, here they are. So I've got a bunch of interesting coins. Um, one is Elizabeth, 2 pence. Let's just put that in the center. And then I have got um, UAE money, and there's I think this is a teapot. So to me, it represents socialization and um, you as this queen. So interesting. This is all going to be about like socialization or like people having a good turnout or something like that. Okay. Um, yeah, that's what I'm getting. Maybe you're some Instagram person, maybe you're an artist. Um, yeah, maybe you're just someone that hosts tea parties, who knows. Um, so what came up for you was lake over fire at first, right? And this is the energy of like um, revolution and change. We have three changing lines. So this one here is all about needing a radical sort of change to make any progress. And this changing line over here is about the fact that, obviously we have water over fire. These are two very opposing elements. Sorry, not water over fire, lake over fire. And the lake will try to like put out the fire that's beneath it, and the fire will try to like boil over the lake or like evaporate it away. So there needs to be a sort of like um, flexibility at all times. You have to use your discernment when to lean towards water, when to lean towards fire. Always be watching that play. Um, so there's this sort of um, tightrope walking that you need to do. And this final changing line over here is about like coming out on top of all of that, making these radical changes and being kind of like on your toes. This very like temperance energy, um, being a little bit fiery, being a little bit watery, um, holding back a little bit and rushing forward at a particular time. And this one is when your efforts sort of pay off. Okay, so that's what this one is all about. And this one is thunder over lake. So this is like all of the efforts you're putting in. You're making some radical changes, which we'll get into. Okay, making some radical changes. You're like feeling your way through this because there's no clear um, guidance. You may be getting the kind of guidance that's like push and pull at the same time. So you kind of like have to find that knack. So that's, more or less what the message is talking about. And finally, all of your efforts sort of paying off, getting that good feeling of like arriving at some point. And the point at which you arrive is thunder over lake. So you're getting maybe you're getting a lot of followers, maybe you're getting a lot of sales on the album that you've put out. Maybe you're, yeah, there's some sort of traction happening. There's some sort of like social event that's, happening. But at the same time, it's sort of superficial. Thunder over lake is a very superficial thing. There's like a lot of um, lights, there's a lot of like fireworks, there's the smoke and mirrors. It's like such a grand show, but the lake is deep, you know. But if you're caught up in the shallowness of it all, you're gonna stay at the top of the lake where, the thunder and the wind and everything is like causing ripples on the water surface. But if you spread your consciousness all the way to your depths instead of like just staying at the surface of yourself, um, you're not going to get caught up in the light show. It's just going to be something exciting, like whipped cream, like such a nice, delicious addition to the good that you already have going on for you. So the acclaim or like the social um, stuff that's really happening and picking up is not consuming you. Okay, when you're inexperienced, when you've never had this kind of um, thing happen to you before, you tend to like get carried away, and that's what the Thunder Over Lake is all about. um, yeah, there's this tendency to get carried away by the drama of thunder and lightning, the whole show, right? But don't get dragged into it. You are the lake. There's more to you than the surface water rippling and all the light show being reflected um, at your surface. There's like life inside of you. There's all these quiet sort of movement, sort of little moments happening every day in you, you know. Um, it's constant, it's always there, and it needs as much attention as the beautiful display, as whatever it is that you're going to get finally. So let me see. Maybe we'll start with the radical change first, right? Yeah, let's do that. So for the radical change, I've got my Witch's Hat Oracle, which I made myself, which is incomplete, but it still works. Oh, it does. So the fact that my Witch's Hat is coming up for, you know, us trying to like map out or help you get your bearings during this sort of transition where you get the social recognition, um, get into those parties or whatever it is, you know. Um, so, yeah. So let's see. North, south, this is west, yeah. And this is east, and it's all the purple colors, so it's all about energy. Um, See, we have the Baba Yaga house. So it's like the orange cards are magical concepts, and the purple cards are just energy, different types of energy. So, um, let me see. What else? What else? What else? Maybe we can use this too. This is, the universe has your back. Um, but let's just put this at the very center over here. Yeah. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. Oneness is my true nature. True nature. Why did I say that? There's a stream of love supporting my dreams. hmm Okay. So yeah, oneness is your true nature. Um, you're coming in with this queenly energy. Maybe you've taken a break. You've retreated home or something, and you're coming out. There's this sense of like you coming out. But at the same time, even though you're feeling very queenly and you're coming out, you're not putting yourself up on a pedestal. That's not what we're doing here, you know. Oneness is your true nature. Okay, so, um, oh, I didn't flip these cards, right? Okay, so, so this one, like I said, is about how you start with a radical change. You know, there's a lot of like mixed signals that you might get from the universe, but that's just, your indication to feel your way through it. Like both answers are sort of correct. You need to like figure out your path. And this is where the um, change that you want to bring about actually happens. So this card, this hexagram is Lake over Fire, and it is the hexagram for revolution and change. And on the other side, I've got like a printout of my phone screen. Very bad printout. There's like a spider cat here, and that just means like you are having this really sensitive sort of energy about you, and we have main character energy also. um, and that's like, you know again, it sort of like takes me back to this coin of Queen Elizabeth. um, it's a 2 pence coin, and it just makes me think of like, the queen coming out and mingling with us common folk. But she's not on a pedestal or anything like that. She doesn't really think that she is the main character, but like good hair goes a long way. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's it all comes back to this: oneness is your true nature. um, can you hold the duality of feeling special but not really feeling like hierarchically special, you know? You're not above or below anyone. You are just the same as anyone else, you know? It's not main character with the MAIN. It's main character with the MANE, which is just like, it's fun, it's about your hair, it's about your get up, it's about the whole look, it's about the fit, that's giving main character energy, but really you're one of the masses. You are um, one with your fans. You are uh, part of the gang, part of the group. That's the feeling that I'm getting. Um, yeah, so let's see. up in the north, we have the energy of interesting heart resonance. So that's interesting that it would come up in the north, the direction for like, you know, your mental energy. Really, do not let your brain take over in this period. Okay. And by the way, the dates here is October 2nd, and it's the waning moon in Aries. I don't know if that means anything to you. If it does, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. Um, yeah, so basically take your brain out of it. You know, your brain has nothing to offer at this point. Everything must be done when you're bored, you know, when you want to like um, entertain your mind, engage the heart instead, engage the body. There is no reason for you to get cerebral right now, you know. Get that resonance going. You know, even if you want to distract your brain, watch something that moves you, you know, instead of like consuming self-help texts and you know a lot of like this bookish knowledge of like therapy or healing or manifestation or whatever it is. Go for heart resonance. Engage the heart, not the mind. Okay, and that's what's going to keep your mind at peak function. It's going to be resonating with your heart, you know. That is amazing. So let's see what's in the West. So the West is your power. Your power lies in actually staying with the boring, staying with the emptiness, watching paint dry. You know, you need to like kind of become good at that. I think this also relates to this because, like, um, before all of this thunder and light show begins, which is like obviously going to be like very exciting for you, and you're gonna like lose your head a little bit. So, in order to not lose your head when this time comes, it's best that you learn to sit with the boredom now, you know, like really learn to sit with the boredom, really learn to like see boredom as juicy. You know, it's nothingness, but it's also potential. Everything is possible, you know, when you're um, sitting with potential, when you're kind of like turning one thing over and another thing over in your head. You know, it's the internal fireworks. When you become in love with the darkness within you, the little fireworks within you that light up this darkness, um, self generated stuff, you know, not content that you might be consuming. Um, so yeah, when you fall in love with your boring spaces, when you fall in love with yourself, you um, you won't be too swayed by the drama, you know, the excitement that's to come. And let's see, towards the east, we have a blank card, which means this is an energy I haven't drawn, I haven't thought of. Ooh, explicit. I'm just gonna let it be there. So, physically, what is going to help is pleasure. It's important for you to, again, activate your body. You know, I think this is all about this being here, the heart one being here, and the the wet one being here. It's just it's just to say that, do not engage your mind, engage your heart and your body instead. Try to sit with boredom, try to sit with the empty spaces as much as you can. If you fall in love with it, it's a plus, it's a big um, flex. And the future energy is, I think, going to be a mystery. I think I can just leave it at that. You know, east, the east point is the kind of energy that you're looking towards, you know, and maybe it has to do with this thundering energy, or maybe it has to do, actually, let me turn this over. Okay. And we have I love my beautiful mind. And if you can make out, there's um, a little home, and there's like flowers and everything all around. And then there's this happy little house spirit that encompasses the whole space, And this to me is like, being um, thunder over lake, but here the lake is very like satisfied where she is instead of getting carried away by the light show. You know, there's um, there's like this quiet, um, there's this kind of quiet love of your own inner light show, um, and the external light show that's happening, the people, the glamour, the lights, that's just whipped cream on top of everything, you know? You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, so we have that. And let's see. Um, okay, what's gonna be good sustenance for you along the way, right? So we have soup and we have the folded one. And then over here we have ramen and the stack of pancakes. Okay. To me, it's just like before, after, you know, the big change. Um, and let me just pull the rest of the cards because I did get astro codes for you too. So, before this change, um, this is the major energy, Pluto, rebirth. And after this change, when you start to see results, this is the dominant energy. Collaborate, but upside down. So let me just confirm. What's it about? Introspection. Yeah, okay. So maybe not collaborate exactly. Maybe just watch, dream of collaboration. Yeah, I think that's where the introspection part really comes through. Dream of collaboration. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, so yeah, let's see. So this part is all about you being in the thick of transformation, right? In the thick of the change. In fact, this one and this one looks so similar. It looks like, that heart resonance is what's really bringing in the change. I think engaging your physical body, indulging in pleasure is just going to like shut your mind up more, make you be more in your body, and help you stay with boredom better. Um, and through your transformation, we have condensed soup. So I'm guessing you will have less energy to, nourish yourself and things like that. Maybe you're sick often, and so you'll need to like have some soup, do some like low level self nourishment. The folded one, tacos, I think this is about, I don't know, just going out and getting a bite. It's good for you to not stay in all the time, or to not stay like introspective all the time. It's good for you to like go out and get little bites, get little bits of energy from your outside world. There's always going to be a bit of like balance happening with you here. And this side is when the people start to show up, but instead of actually reaching out to these people and going, yeah, like, oh yes, let's collaborate, let's do this, let's do that, let's blah blah blah, don't. Just keep those dreams to yourself and keep them coming. Like, keep all of the dreams coming in your head. um, Draw your energy back, enjoy the light show, but draw your energy back. Do not jump into plans. That's like being like a young maiden and getting married way too fast. Don't do that. And while you're in this time, it's just like, the soup becomes ramen. It becomes um, luxurious. It's like the same thing but with more substance to it. So you're um, increasing the way that you um, um, nourish yourself. You double down on self nourishment, and the stack is basically, in contrast to the folded one. In the folded one, you're like going out, getting small bites here and there, basically gathering some external energy inward. But here I feel like you're just at home, and you're feeding yourself well, making stacks of pancakes, having a good breakfast at home. So, the home life is becoming richer in order to not get overwhelmed by like the social life that's happening and gaining attention and all of that. So, yeah, I think that pretty much says it all. I think that's all you need. Okay, Cancer, have a great day, a month, whatever it is. Have fun. Hope this helped.